Elon Musk and Doge, they're firing a lot of people. Not only are they firing a lot of people, but they're really, especially Elon, his goal and his job has been tasked to really understand what's going on in our government and cut down and trim as much fat as he can. Because at the end of the day, our government is spending an enormous amount of money on a lot of stupid and pointless things. And that's the main goal of what Elon and Doge is here to do. But in this video, we're going to go through a little bit of what's actually being discovered. What is Elon doing in the White House to begin with? How are people feeling about it? And much, much more. So as always, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. And for the returning viewers out there is a shelf. My whole set is under construction right now. There's a lot of things being sent in. It's going to be hung up. There's a chair that's going to be there, lights. It's going to look really cool, but y'all are along for the process. So with that being said, let's dive right into these videos.
As the president marks his first month in office, there is growing fallout over the mass firings across the federal government. Overnight, federal employees received an email asking them to summarize their work for the past week.
Okay. Two parts. One, in terms of firing everybody in our government, I feel like everybody always jokes and like, oh, our government's trash, or our government needs to get it together, this is that. Okay, why wouldn't we be firing people? Why wouldn't we be analyzing and seeing, where can we trim the fat? What's going wrong in these institutions? Where are we wasting money? Who doesn't need their job? That's what every company does. People get hired and fired at companies all the time, and mass layoffs happen all the time. So a mass layoff is happening in our federal government because it is a hot mess. Truly, I think if we all can agree that our government needs help, it's in shambles, it needs a lot of work, and it's crap, then it would make sense to really look at who's in our government, who's working, who's really doing their job. Well, this email that Elon is requesting and Doge is requesting is, hey, send in what you did last week. I feel like that's very reasonable for any boss to request from its employees. Hey, what did you get done last week? And if you don't answer this, you're gone, because clearly you didn't do anything. If you did do your work, if you did do stuff last week, then it's clear and it's obvious that you have nothing to worry about and your job should be secure. And if it's not, you have a pointless job, which a lot of them do exist. Again, I was in corporate America for 8 years. I'm very well aware of different jobs coming and going and people in and out and roles created, roles deleted. It's a whole thing. And I don't understand why this is not something that's expected within our own government.
Elon Musk adding failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. It comes as his operatives are now working inside at least 18 departments and agencies. Musk punctuating the moment by brandishing a chainsaw at a conservative conference in Washington.
I hate the news. I really do. That's crazy. One, his operatives, you mean the people appointed, the people working, appointed under Trump to analyze our data. Yeah. Two, brandish a chainsaw to enforce the point. That's almost like a threat, and he wasn't threatening anybody with this chainsaw. He was just being Elon.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
No, that chainsaw moment was a lot, and Elon's a lot.
As the cuts keep coming, many Americans are asking just how much money is actually being saved. Well, the Department of Government Efficiency released what it called a, quote, wall of receipts on Monday. Doge says the cuts so far add up to $55 billion. Our CBS News investigative unit and CBS's Confirmed team analyzed that wall of receipts, and they found the initial accounting was overstated by billions of dollars.
I love how invested they are and angry people are at Elon cutting spending in our government. Our investigators are looking into this. We've realized this. Did y'all ever care about how much money was being wasted? Where was this energy with all the money being wasted and sent all over the world for no reason? Where is this energy for the sheer amount of debt that our country is just going into? Off the rip, even if numbers were inflated, overstated, whatever it may be, that is still not as bad as what's actually wasting money. At least cuts are being made. That's what I care about. That's what I really enjoy. At some point, we have to give credit where credit is due and approach these things from a rational perspective and say, hey, I may not like Elon. Some of these numbers may be off, but at the end of the day, savings are still being met. Savings are still being made. And it is so funny to me how now all of a sudden people care. How do you care so much about the money being saved and you want to highlight that it actually wasn't that much saved and this and that? At the end of the day, money's still being saved. And two, where was this energy and us wasting the money to begin with? Again, I thought we were the people. I thought everybody collectively was like, oh man, we're running too much debt, too much spending here, wasting money here. Our government's a hot mess. But now when we have an organization that's looking into why we're spending so much money in our government, now it's a problem. The math isn't mathing.
Doge says it saved by terminating contracts Cuts at the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, add up to more than 3 times that of other departments combined.
Okay, he's saying, okay, we're cutting way more aid than anywhere else in the USAID, which is basically the money to help people across the world, which it's apparent we don't know how to do that. Said it before, said it again, we can't be Captain Save-A-Ho. America doesn't know how to help everybody and help themselves at the same time. It just doesn't work. Do I think we should be helping developing countries? For sure. We can help out some countries here and there. You know, we can help you protect yourself a little bit over here. But when we're actively in trouble and we actively need help with how things are being ran, and it's not looking good for us in the United States for our own citizens, that's when we need to take a break from helping everybody else and start helping ourselves.
Now, looking down at the breakdown by sheer number of contracts, USAID still tops the list, with the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Education following behind. When our CBS News Confirmed team analyzed the receipts to see how DEI played a role in these cuts, they identified at least 140 contracts connected to DEI programs.
Good. If you haven't seen my DEI video, you should totally go watch that one. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. But good. Again, a big point that I made in that video is how all this DEI stuff, the DEI conversations, DEI hires, even affirmative action in schools, it's turned me and turned a lot of people that I know into racist. And what I mean by that, not actually racist, but what I mean by that is when I was little and I would see Black people in successful areas, that was motivating to me. That was like, oh wow, like I'm represented, like I can be anything. Like this isn't like a white man's world. Like, wow, like a Black pilot, there's a Black doctor, that's sick. Right? But now that I'm grown and all these DEI initiatives are being put in place, and it's like, oh, we need to meet quotas and hire more Black people. We need to give Black people this special training. We need to bring up this Black person over here. Now I have to take a step back and think to myself, do you even deserve to be here? When I see a Black person on the billboard, when I see a Black, if I'm getting on a plane and I look left and I see a Black pilot, ooh, or I see a Black doctor, I'm like, are you actually qualified? And that's horrible to think, that's horrible to say, but that's what these programs, that Maine's initiative is to put people in place, that's what they make me think. So I'm like, did you actually earn your position, or are you here because of DEI? At that, now I'm looking at other white people in these successful areas and I'm looking at them like, damn, you actually are really, really good then. If you bypass all the racial BS and you still made it through, now you're really good. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's how far we've gotten with the whole DEI stuff. So, like, good, cut it out. I don't want any of the DEI crap as a Black man in America. Thank you very much.
Doge just unveiled some of the craziest grants taxpayers were spending money on. These are some of my favorites. Oh, and by the way, according to the official Doge X page, all of these grants have been canceled. Let's start with $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcision. Why? $486 million to the Consortium of Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. What the heck are we doing?
Like, why? Truly, why are we spending so much money everywhere else? This is everyone should be on par with this. Everyone should be like, yeah, actually, you keep talking about taxes. Oh, I hate all these taxes, or oh my gosh, you keep hitting these potholes, or we need to be focusing on student loan forgiveness, or ending homelessness, the drug crisis. Okay, well, how are we going to do that if we don't have the money for it? And it's apparent we do have the money for it, but we're giving it to everybody else. At the bare minimum, we should not be spending the sheer amount of money that we do everywhere else around the world, and sometimes even like stupid little stuff within our own country. This is exactly why Trump has urged Musk to be more aggressive in his bid to shrink the US government. I truly do not understand the sheer amount of pushback that Elon is getting. Yes, the man can be cringe and he can be a little extra, I get it, and we're gonna get more into like Elon's character later on in this video, but in terms of putting his great business skills at use within the government, trying to analyze, how can we make things better? Why is it seen as a bad thing? And right here, it does highlight the two pivotal points that people do make in regards to Elon Musk, and is that Musk's engagement has led to public concern regarding his access to private information and potential conflicts of interest regarding, his government contract with SpaceX and Tesla, and then the private information that he may receive through or may see with uncovering things within our government, of which I don't understand why that's such a big concern for people, as if Bezos doesn't have all your information from Amazon. Who all uses Amazon? Okay, there's a billionaire that has access to that. It's like, what access, what data would Elon get by fixing up our government that would be like such a big concern? It's apparent he's not going to get access to that, and in the event he did, why does it, if we all make jokes about our FBI agent on our cell phones, like, why would it matter? You know, why would it matter? It's the feds. They already know you. And the man already has several top security clearances. So truly, does it matter that much? And if you like the way this news is laid out and where I get my news, because I only get my news from Ground News, be sure to click the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen to get involved. Ground News is an amazing app and website that basically takes in all the stories that are going on in the world and brings it into one place. It's like, it's an aggregator of all the news going on, and then it gives you access to all the tools to see, what is the left saying, center saying, right saying, where is the biases leaning, who is talking about it, who owns it, what's the factuality, and so much more. Additionally, not only is Ground News available in all around the world, you can just go up here and change the edition, but my favorite spot is Blind Spot, which basically shows you all the news that the left isn't talking about but the right is, and then all the news that the left is talking about but the right isn't. That way you can clearly see what is always going on in the news, because you don't want to be blindsided and you don't want to be trapped in an echo chamber. Aside from politics, from tech news to celebrity gossip to sports, whatever it may be, Ground News honestly has it all for you. And of course they have a deal for you. You can get 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the plan that I use, which is unlocks all the cool access that you can get on Ground News. It's like the price of one coffee a month. Totally worth it. And you can get that by tapping my link below or scanning the QR code here on the screen. People ask me all the time, Amir, where do you get your news? They're my main sponsor, title sponsor on this channel. It is Ground News, because they are so unbiased and they give it to you straight for what it is.
I think it's important to remember that President Trump ran on this. I mean, he said we're going to look for wasteful spending across our government. We're $36 trillion in debt, y'all. That's not only fiscally irresponsible, it is actually morally irresponsible. And the difference in this administration and the last administration is that President Trump is actually the final arbiter. And it's interesting that none of you had anything to say over the last 4 years when it is clear that our commander-in-chief was not in command. And if we're going to use the term co-president, then let's go back and say co-president Jake Sullivan, co-president Ron Klain, co-president Jill Biden. I mean, it seems that some of the biggest decisions were made during the president's afternoon nap time. And so I just think we need to be a little bit more honest about what's been laid out and what's actually occurring.
She snapped. I couldn't even get, wow. There were so many moments I wanted to pause, but she was just snapping. First off, she's totally spot on with this idea of like, oh, people calling Elon a co-president. Here's the deal. We knew Biden wouldn't make no decisions. The man has to step down because he's just not cognitively there to be president. Kamala was never elected. You had Kamala and Jill Biden up in there calling the shots more than likely. At that, no one picks a VP but the president. So this idea that just because someone isn't elected that they aren't allowed to advise or say certain things doesn't line up, because no one selects the vice president, no one selects who Trump picks for his cabinet, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, we're spending way too much in our government. It should be a good thing. It should be advised to trim the fat. Again, is the man cringe? Is Elon cringe? Yeah. Is he doing the most a little bit? Yeah. Has this Trump administration, I'm gonna have a video about that, have they been very like, we're doing this, and really going in? Yeah. But on the flip side, it actually does feel like we actually have a president for once. Hello. But two, it is sober responsible to continue to climb in debt and debt and debt. Are we still going in debt? Yes. Are we still gonna be spending? Yes. But at least not as much. At least we're finally trying to do something about it.
Elon Musk's companies are paid $4,880,000 every day by the federal government. If you're ever in an argument about why Elon Musk should not be the leader of Doge, here is your primary evidence. And just so you have the evidence yourself, here is the chart that backs up that claim. These are the federal contracts for the last 10 years to SpaceX and Tesla. And MAGA folks, don't get too excited about that low 2025 number. It's just so far. By the end of the year, it's going to be even higher than 2024. And these numbers are government disclosures from
one. It's funny, again, how everybody's so invested into diving deep and digging into Elon and, you know, the money that he makes from the government contracts. Okay, what about Nancy Pelosi? What about all the insider trading that goes on both on the left and the right? Where is your energy for that? And two, yes, his companies, SpaceX and Tesla, do have government contracts and they do get funding. Yes, so does other space companies and so do other car companies. Way more. If it got to the point where Elon's making the calls on his own companies, then I'd be like, hey, we need to rein rein in the ropes, or Trump needs to step in, whatever it may be. But until that happens, I have no problem with him being there.
There is widespread concern about the Doge team's access to sensitive payment systems. Are you worried at all that that access and that tinkering of the payment systems could affect the treasuries market or cause any disruption?
Good. Well, Saleha, thank you for asking me about that, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. First of all, when you say the Doge team, these are Treasury employees. It is 2 Treasury employees, one of whom I personally interviewed in his final round. There is no tinkering with the system. They are on read-only. They are looking, they can make no changes. It is an operational program to suggest improvement. So we make 1.3 billion payments a year, and this is 2 employees who are working with a group of long-standing employees.
Great. Again, there's so much pushback against Trump, against Elon, against Doge, that it's hard to just lay out what's actually going on, because you already have to fight the battle in this PR crisis of people saying how bad these individuals are, that already have on their blinders, like, I'm not listening to you, like, Elon's bad, Trump's bad, whatever. Whole time, they're approved government workers just analyzing and reading the data. At that, the man, again, he already has security clearances. He owns Twitter. So if you've ever bought anything, or you bought a Twitter Blue, he has your financial stuff there technically. Tesla, if you own a Tesla, Starlink, data there. It's like, now all of a sudden you're concerned about your data when you don't give 2 craps about TikTok. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense.
I mean, I haven't asked the president for anything ever.
And if it comes up, how will you handle it?
Well,
He won't be involved.
yeah, I'll recuse myself if it is.
If there's a conflict, he won't be involved.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I wouldn't want that, and he won't want it.
Right, and obviously I'm getting a sort of a daily proctology exam here. You know, it's not like I'll be getting away from something in the dead of night.
If he's got a conflict, I mean, look, he's in certain areas. I mean, I see this morning, I didn't know, but I said, do the right thing, where they're cutting way back on the electric vehicle subsidies.
Yes.
They're cutting back.
You lose.
Not only cutting back.
Hurt you.
Correct.
Yeah. Now,
You don't care.
I wouldn't tell you.
Well,
He's probably not that happy with it, but that would have been one thing he would have come to me and said, listen, you got to do me a favor. This is crazy.
See, he should be out of that. That's what I don't agree with at all. I don't think he should be dealing with anything related to EVs or space in terms of like Doge, because I don't like that. I feel like, because the subsidy thing, that's not always a bad thing. Like, that could be a good thing for Elon, because we don't like that over here. No, ma'am. I just told y'all that unless he's like in his spaces and what he's doing, I'm fine with it. I don't like that. I don't want Elon having anything to do, and that little smugness, anything to do with his own businesses or space. Everything else, sure. Because at the end of the day, like, he was a part of PayPal, grew to be what it be because he was at the beginning of that. SpaceX grew to be what it be, and his cost savings and really analyzing how the rockets can be built better and built cheaper. Tesla, hello. And I'm a little biased. I have a Tesla. There's so many different things that his businesses do great. I'm not gonna deny that. Do I enjoy the properties of what made these businesses great being applied to some areas of our government and to reduce spending? Yes. Do I like this? No. He doesn't get a free pass from me just because he's Elon. I'm not gonna sit here and not talk about him, which is a lot of baby mama drama. I got into that a little bit on Brett Cooper's podcast. If you want my opinion on like Elon Musk and all his baby mama drama, you can watch that video over there. I don't like that. I don't like this anymore. See, y'all get my real reaction. I came in here real hot and heavy, but now I'm sitting here like, what are y'all doing and why? This is something we're going to keep our eye on, and we're going to be coming back to. Elon go Elon. That's one thing I've learned. That man, like I said before, it's like, it's so frustrating. It's like there's so much genius, but then there's also a lot of, he reminds me of Kanye in the sense of like, there's so much I thought, and it's my projection, but like so much of what I thought and what I wanted Kanye to be, like a Drake or like a Beyonce or Travis Scott, like taking his superpowers and amplifying it to the next level, but instead his whole legacy is being crumbled by his like ridiculous actions. It's the same way with Elon, where he has so many proven and great things in our society: Starlink, Tesla, SpaceX. There's so many things that he's doing, and like he's leading, and he's so incredibly smart. But his baby mama drama, the kids everywhere, this dark MAGA stuff, whipping with chainsaws, jumping around, that's clouding his actual achievements. And I would say it's a whole like media bias thing and how they're portraying him, but no, that's how he's acting. Like, you can't fake how someone's acting. You can't really twist that. That's just genuinely how he is. And so that's the one thing I do find unfortunate, is that I wish his legacy and I wish the things that he was doing was treated with more grace. But with the way he's acting and portraying himself, it's not that way. So that's the video. And off the bat, I really do not like that he has something to do with the EV credits himself. I think that was a little conflict of interest. Not even a little conflict of interest. That is a conflict of interest. And I don't like that. There's so much to look into, you guys. There's so much. I do not like Elon having to do anything in relation to his own government contracts. I'm gonna leave that there. Everything else, whatever. So we're gonna keep our tabs on that. So be sure to subscribe. I'll keep you guys in a loop. But in totality, Doge, which even that name is a meme. If you know, you know about the Doge meme coin, and Elon's been loving the word Doge for years now, whatever. The Department of Government Efficiency makes sense. I'm a fan of it. I'm so irritated Vivek is not in it because he wants to be governor. Y'all just watching me just unfold in real life, just sitting here thinking about like, who is here? Just really sitting here, really, really thinking about Doge. I do not like that whole EB thing. But besides that, I'm a fan of what Doge is doing. I'm a fan of the cost cutting. And, you know, I'm hoping Trump and his team is smart enough to put some more checks and balances into play. We'll see. But until I guess something incredibly horrible happens or something super bad, then like I'm gonna keep my ears perked for it. But for right now, it does seem like the things that are being cut is all for good. So I don't know, but I'll keep you guys posted. That's my thoughts on this whole Elon and Doge thing. Let me know in the comments below what you think. As always, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for your time. Seriously, whether you're listening to this in the car, on a walk with your dog, eating a meal, laid up in bed, or you with your spouse or your friends watching this, hello guys. I'm thankful that you're here and spending time with me on all the topics that we talk about here on this channel. I'm pumping out content on content. So be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. And liking the video, commenting, it all helps. I'm honored about it. We passed like 560,000 subs, which is just insane to me per usual. But till next time, and remember, like we end every video, I hope that you understand, know, and trust that you can be anything you put your mind to in this world. If you are still here watching this video, it is called going through it for a reason. You are not stuck there. Just keep your head high, focus on you, only you, tunnel vision, get your things done, get your life in order, and you will be successful and achieve all your goals and dreams. But if you don't believe it, the universe won't believe it, nobody will believe it, you're gonna be nothing in life. So truly the option's yours. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta know that this is a season and it will pass. So with that being said, thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Deuces.